Hello, hello, my lovely Pisces. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope y'all are doing well. I feel like very out of center right now. It's bothering me. All right, Pisces, you have Anima Mundi and the Underworld, Agape, the Comic, the Womb, and the Shapeshifter. This feels very introspective to me because I just kind of get this feeling of like we are all one energy experiencing itself in different forms and fashions. And, like if that is the case, like, is it not possible for us to exist in a part of ourselves that doesn't enable us to engage wholly in ourselves? Self. Because I kind of just get this feeling of like, I don't know, I kind of just want to say like, you made your point, but I like, in saying that, I immediately just want to like grin from ear to ear. So like maybe somebody's saying like, okay, you made your point, and you're like, thank you, finally. Because I mean, the comic is the idea of being able to be smart enough to be curious, to break down limitations, to break down barriers, to break those things down, because sometimes like asking questions is the best thing in the world that you can do, right? Like, well, like, why do you feel that way? And like, what is your goal? Like, what emotion is it that you're trying to incite with that? And why do you feel the need to incite that specific emotion? And if that is your mode of operatum, then what dictates that? You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like you just, it just feels like this awareness, this like bigger and bigger and bigger. And I ask so many questions that I step outside of it, and then it gets even bigger. And you know what I mean? And the bigger it gets, I feel like the safer it feels. And that feels different. That feels like where that changes. But I don't know. I mean, I just think about like working as a writing consultant, and they're like, people are very like, their writing oftentimes is like a part of themselves, right? It's hard to write things out and not write what you know, right? There's a connectedness to that art form, really any art form. But like, I have worked with writers, so that's just where I'm gonna wheelhouse this one. But it's a process to get them to see it through the eyes of their readers. Like, if as a reader, this is what I'm perceiving that you're saying, then you need to like hone in what you're saying and like tighten it up and make it more directed, more pointed. And I just kind of feel like there's this idea of like something that was very sacred to you that got just lost in translation somehow. And because when you're writing a story, if somebody reads your story and they're like, what's happening? But a well-written story is one where you can go back and you can tie all of these pieces together, right? And sometimes those stories are really long stories, and sometimes they're very simplified stories. But when you're going through the cycle of a story, like, you have to be careful to not get caught in one element of it, because then it pulls the central theme out, and minimizes it. And I just feel like you're like experiencing that, but like in life. And when you start to, I just feel like, practice an awareness of like how it's being perceived, like, then you can fine tune it to your audience, instead of just stream of conscious, spewing all over the paper. Again, however that translates for you, whether it's your art, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your friendships, whether it's like a community that you're engaged with. I just kind of get this feeling of like honing in something so that it speaks to a larger audience. And like the fine-tuning process of that, and that refusal to stop asking questions, because those were the questions that you needed answered in order to fine-tune your process, to create a safe space to show up differently. Okay. Pisces, we are almost 6 minutes in. Let's do some clarifiers. I'm sorry if this is very specific or grossly abstract. If it does resonate with you, I would love to know how, please share. The Five of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. Well, there is a sense of just like walking away from something. I feel like walking away from this, like there's a way to target your audience that actually expands your audience. And I feel like there's this like fine tuning in the art of expansion that requires you to leave some things behind that don't actually really align with you, to go in this direction that feels like you're safely and soundly stepping into a position of power. A position of power. A position of influence, a position where, I don't know, you feel like your skills are useful. Maybe it's something very niche that you're interested in, that you're into, and it's like, and yet it's universal. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, so how do you hone that in and like fine tune that to where it is universal? Because without that fine tuning, it's not universal. This feels huge. Okay, Pisces. The Two of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, the Six of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Sun. Well, again, I just feel like this like fine tuning. There are some things that you're cutting out. There are some things that you're doing away with. There are some things that are throwing you out of balance, that are preventing you from having that fine tuned vision. And you are like you're not dealing with it anymore. You're fine tuning it out. I just feel like this, like I've reviewed, I've gone back, I've looked over everything that wasn't working and why it wasn't working. And I asked all of the questions, and I gained the understanding that I needed in order to fine tune what I'm doing in a way that will be specific and yet universal. And going in that direction. I mean, the Sun is just like growth, blossoming, right? Like what we were, that might have been somebody else. but yes, blossoming into, like a safer space for whatever it is that you're doing, whether that's for your family, for your friends, for your lovers, for your, for your own business, for your own, creative outlet, however that, plays out for you. But it feels good, Pisces. I love this energy. I'm sorry that it did feel very abstract to me, and I do apologize for that. But if it does resonate with you, please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.